name's Brendan O'Sullivan, a Toastmaster from Brisbane, Australia. Welcome to my Toastmasters World Tour podcast. Please join me as I travel virtually around the world and chat to Toastmasters from different countries and all walks of life. Let's explore! For this episode of Toastmasters World Tour, we travel virtually to Lomé, Togo, the capital of the French-speaking West African nation, famous for its rich culture, history and textile markets, to chat to Dunstanette Macauley, former Region 11 advisor. Listen in to follow her journey and find out what it takes to be a passionate, globe-trotting, international Toastmaster. Dunstanette, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
As you said, Dunstanette, I'm Dunstanette Macauley, and I was born in Liberia. I'm a Liberian citizen originally, and my mother from Sierra Leone. So I'm from two West African countries. I went to school in the British system in Sierra Leone because my father passed away just before I was born, and my mom was a Sierra Leonean. She went back home. So we were raised in Sierra Leone. I went to school there, the oldest school in Africa, oldest girls' school, the Animals Memorial School, which was founded in the 1900s. And then I went to England. I did my first degree economics at Durham in the Midlands. I went back, started working for the Minister of Agriculture. Then I went to study diplomacy in France. I did my master's in diplomacy, and then I became a diplomat. Served once in the embassy in Rome, and then got married and came to Togo.
I see. And so what prompted you to join Toastmasters?
Well, I first heard about Toastmasters from a friend, a British friend, Jenny, and we met in England, and she said, "But Don, do you know about Toastmasters?" I said, "No, never heard about it. I think you should start a club in Togo because this is what Toastmasters does. I know you like talking, you like having conversations, you like doing speeches. That's the place for you." I said, "Really? Okay, let me get about it." So I read about it. And then one day I was getting the Riverdale Press in New York, and there was a Toastmasters meeting. And it was right in my neck of the woods. So I walked to the Riverdale neighborhood house that evening, sat at the back and went through the meeting. But one thing I must say, I was never asked to introduce myself. So I went to like 3 or 4 meetings, mingled. But then there was an elderly lady who was passed. She remarked much that I was there. She came to talk to me. And we stayed really friendly until she passed away. She was always admiring me when I spoke, etc., when I did my speeches. And that club had existed for about 25 years before I became a member. But I was the first DTM.
You were the first DTM? Well done.
I was celebrated by that club.
That's awesome. How did you find yourself in New York?
Well, as I told you, I was born in Liberia, and Liberians during the war had a special status in the United States to become permanent residents, etc.
I see.
So I bought a flat, but I always came back to Lomé because I started working in Togo in ECOWAS. That's the Economic Community of West African States. It's like the European Union for West Africa.
I see.
I was working there, and I was living there here. I had my 2 children. My husband also was a diplomat. We were sent to Congo, Zaire. So when I came back also from New York, again in the newspaper, I heard about the Toastmasters demonstration meeting. That's why the Toastmasters is following me. So I went to that meeting, and then I became one of the founders, because I had been in New York as a Toastmasters, and I helped set up the club. And again, I was the first DTM in Togo.
Wow. And was that the first club in Togo, was it?
Yes, it was.
What was the name of that club?
Excellence.
Excellence. And what language was it?
With excellence, and it produced all the the leaders and most of the leaders in West Africa and all those who have positions in the district.
I see. Togo, the national language is French, right?
Yes, it is.
Were the club meetings in Excellence run in French?
Yes, they were running French. Yes.
Okay. And so how does that work when it comes to international competition? Because if you go all the way to the World Championships, that's got to be run in English. Do the club contests run in English or?
No, you can run, according to the Toastmasters rules, you can run in your language up to the district level.
I see.
But to get to the international level, it has to be in English. So
Okay.
I also opened the second club in Togo, Kekeli, which means light, and it's an English-speaking club.
I see.
And we have won 3 district championships, and 1 has gone on to international.
Okay, well, all right. So you can win your district level international competition in French.
Yes.
And then go on, and your English may be. Do you assess the person if they're going to have enough English to compete on the world stage?
No, they do not. No. It's the English-speaking club Kekeli that produce champions in the district.
I see.
No, the French, most of them don't go up to district level in French. But now, because many people, because of Toastmasters, have learned English, and you have people from French-speaking clubs running for international competitions in English.
I see. I was reading in 2022 that Togo joined the British Commonwealth to expand its diplomatic, political, and economic network and to forge closer ties with the Anglophone world. Has this led to an increase in English-speaking clubs in Togo?
It certainly has. It was even said that on Fridays, they should speak English at work everywhere. And Togo has a unique position. Togo was colonized by the Germans. And when Germany lost the First World War, Togo was divided, just like Cameroon, between Britain and France. So in Cameroon also they had French Cameroon and English Cameroon, and they became the United Republic of Cameroon. For Togo, you had British Togo and French Togo. And when Ghana, the Gold Coast, became independent in 1957, there was a referendum, which has always been contested anyway, which said that those in British Togo wanted to join the Gold Coast, and they became Ghana. So the border from Togo to Ghana is right in the capital, right in Lomé. If you go there, it's a very interesting phenomenon. You see people walking across the border, not by car, they just walk. Because some of them, they really don't know about Togo and Ghana. For them, they're going to their villages in British Togo.
Okay.
So because of the proximity with Ghana, many people speak English. The older people were speaking English and German. The younger ones, because of the internet, social media, they are very keen on speaking English. So speaking English in Togo is not a problem. Almost everyone you meet has a basic knowledge of English because also it was taught in schools and they learned English, but they try to pursue speaking English.
Okay, so, interesting. Yes. How many Toastmasters clubs are you a member of?
I'm a member of 2 clubs in New York and 4 clubs in Togo.
That must keep you busy.
Yes, indeed. Very busy. And sometimes I'm just tired. It's just, you can have the whole day something from Toastmasters. And because I'm one of the most advanced Toastmasters, I'm always invited to do training, to take up roles. And I do take up roles in clubs. For me, Toastmasters is a passion. I'm passionate about it.
That's
and
wonderful.
I've been a DTM 4 times. I'm working on my feet.
4 times? Holy dooly. That's a lot.
Yes.
And here we are doing another Toastmasters related activity.
Yes. And I was in one before I came to you. And I have another one in the evening.
Oh, well. So I think you're in quite a unique position, Dunstanette, to ask the next question, which is, given that you've been in clubs in Togo plus New York, and given that Toastmasters is originally an American organization, are there any differences you see between the Togo clubs and the American New York club?
Oh, yes, there are a lot. And once I was invited to ask to speak on the magic of being number one in the world, because our district in 1994 has been number one in the world 3 times, and it's
Oh,
always number two or number three. They really work hard for that. And
well,
this 94 had a transformation about 2 years ago, and now we have this 34 and 130, and they're almost ready again because there's a very fast growth
I
in
see.
Africa
Ah, I see.
and
Yes.
more in the French-speaking countries.
Uh-huh.
Because as you know, for instance, I knew that my mother went to a meeting every day at 5:15. You hear the car being turned on. She was going to a meeting.
Uh-huh.
So I grew up in the world of meetings and associations. So
Uh-huh.
in Togo, not only did I start, I was in those who started Toastmasters. I've started other international organizations like Zonta,
Uh-huh.
BPW, etc.
Uh-huh.
Because the Francophones, just like in France, they don't have the culture of clubs and
Uh-huh.
associations. But in West Africa and Central Africa, there has been so much enthusiasm to open clubs.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
we have in this 94, maybe 80% of the clubs of the members are French speaking.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there has been a huge growth in French speaking countries.
Okay, so if I hear you correctly, the two of the biggest differences are the incredible levels of enthusiasm and growth,
Yes,
and the
yes.
fact that most people are native French speakers. Are there any other differences in how the meetings are run or different sort of activities that might occur?
No, well, yes and no. It depends on the clubs in New York. Some
Mhm.
clubs really follow the rules,
Mm.
some don't. But one thing that really surprised me. I was an area director 2 years ago because I needed a district position for my DTN.
Mhm.
But in the C46, there are not enough volunteers to be area directors.
Right.
It's amazing. In the C94 in Africa, we have to have the leadership committee has to interview candidates. There are
Ah,
so many who want to be area directors.
I
They're
see.
even ready to serve in New York as area chair, wherever they could. There are
Uh,
so many who are eager, and
that's interesting.
positions are limited. But in New York, I have 2 or 3 of our past presidents have in my club. I've encouraged them to become area directors.
Uh,
They're not interested. I said, you want to be a DTM, you have to have a district position. No. So
yeah.
that enthusiasm is not the same. But for the past 2 years, I must say the district directors that we had 2 years ago, and now there has been a change. There has been a lot of pushing and encouraging and
Uh,
motivation. So I think they might get
well,
clubs.
I'd love to experience that levels of enthusiasm. I think what you're describing with New York is quite similar to here in Australia. You know, we just sort of managed to get area directors, but there's not a queue sort of thing. So, but what I'm wondering, what impact, if any, does the local culture have on club meetings in Togo?
Oh, no, they do not use, they really, because to keep an eye, they do keep to the Toastmasters rules. Maybe the dress code, they might have African outfits,
Hmm?
and sometimes they might have maybe an African day
Hmm?
where the speeches and the setup would be with an African touch, but mostly the meetings are held in the classical Toastmasters way.
Fair enough.
And like, but one problem, and I've been opening a lot of cupcake clubs. I do love opening cupcake clubs because at least I could ensure that the dues would be paid because I try to get the cupcake farms to know that joining Toastmasters should be part of your human resources budget, your training budget.
I
So they
see.
mostly pay for their members. But in the corporate club, one problem was like now one I have to solve is you have senior officers as members, directors.
Uh-huh.
And when you have a speech and you have to be evaluated by a very junior member,
Uh-huh.
what is a problem? And in
Yeah.
one of my clubs, the one who has been VPE, who's very enthusiastic, wants
Uh-huh.
to become the president. And
Uh-huh.
we say, will the officers and the senior professional staff remain if you have a very junior person as president? How
Mm.
do you solve that?
Yeah, tricky one. Every year, my home club will have a Halloween themed meeting. I've noted that Togo has an annual voodoo festival every September in a village just outside Lomé. Do you ever have a voodoo themed meeting?
No, never. Since it's that judo is a religion, and in Toastmasters, we should not. It's non-confessional, so we
Yes.
don't have voodoo. And Lomé or this area is very Christian and
Uh-huh.
Muslim. You have Muslims
Uh-huh.
and Christians,
Okay.
so that the enemies, as they call it, the local religion,
Uh-huh.
never been brought into Toastmasters. But in
Okay.
Benin, they have the Voodoo days. They just finished in January the Voodoo days in Benin next door. Yeah, tourists came from all over the world to attend. I don't know whether the clubs in Benin do have Voodoo themes, but I do not think so.
What about in competitions? Do you ever have voodoo dolls of your fellow Toastmasters competitors that you can
I've
stick?
never seen that.
No,
I've
I've,
never seen. Never,
I,
never in any. I mean, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria is where they have the Voodoo themes, but I
I,
have never seen that in any meeting because I was governor. I went to Nigeria several times for meetings. I've never seen that.
No, I was
Voodoo
reading
theme-
that. I was reading the concept of voodoo dolls and sticking pins in them as more of a Western popular culture thing that arose in the first half of the 20th century. I was pretty disappointed to read that because I thought that could be a really fun thing to do with your fellow competitors. Take them out, and
Oh, yes.
it might cause a few ums and ahs, I'd imagine.
I know, but I have never attempted to read or visit the
Yeah.
voodoo market or the voodoo religion. And like I was going to Benin with the in-laws of my son. They're from Sweden. They wanted to go to the temple, the snake temple. I stayed out. I did not go in. I'm a
Okay.
practicing Episcopalian.
Okay.
I just do not go into it, but I do have friends all around who talk about it, who try to convince me. But I do not like to discuss with them the religion because you all get worked up. Which
Yeah. No. Fair enough.
religion is better? I don't
Yeah.
think anyone is better. It's just what everybody has their faith.
Of
And
course.
whatever you
Yeah.
believe in, it's yours.
Yeah.
So
No, that's fair enough.
I've never been there.
No. Yeah. I mean, my ums and ahs have been a bit of a stumbling block for me. So, I mean, at the very least, I'd like to think that that could be an excuse for me that someone's got a voodoo doll of me. Stick
Yes,
a pin to.
but
But
if you
really, I've
come
only got
to
myself to
Togo or
blame.
Benin, if you come to Togo or Benin, you would visit. You can visit the voodoo temples. If you Google voodoo days, voodoo days, see a lot of Europeans, Australians, Americans came to Benin.
Okay.
You can
Interesting.
see they were giving them some of the culture. Your background, is that religious or just a beautiful background? Or is that an angel?
Oh, that was actually my avatar for Speechcraft. It's more of a fantasy of mine to fly like a bird. So, Dunstanette, can you tell me about your rise to become Regional 11 advisor? That's very high up in the organisation, and about the work that you do there.
Well, as Toastmasters, you start as a member of, most people, you start being a sergeant at arms. You go through the club level, you go through the district level, area director, etc. I was not an area director because we started with the West African Territorial Council. In fact,
Mhm.
I'm the only one who's still active in Toastmasters from the council because we were not a district, so we were a territorial council. So I walked through that, the 3 levels in the territorial council, and then I became governor. As I say to people right now, once you are in the trial, nobody runs against you as CGD, PQD. Or when I was there, I had someone running against me at every level,
Really?
even as the governor, and I won.
Well done.
So I believe in competitions. It should not be just a walkover because you are a CGD will not automatically become PQD or automatically become a DC director. So if there is a competition, if people want to compete, they should have the chance to do so.
Yes.
So after going through that, I had been a governor and I wanted to be a regional advisor because I have seen someone like Morag, whom I admire a lot, the past international president Morag.
Yes. Yes.
She was area director and she was regional advisor.
Right.
And she helped us so much when we were just a baby district. And I said, she really knows all the rules and doctrines in Toastmasters. So if I'm in need of something, I write to Morag. As I said, she's my encyclopedia.
Like
So
your mentor.
seeing how she worked, I wanted to become a regional advisor like her. And I applied. The first time I did not make it, though. The second time I did. And that was a great experience because I was covering Africa and the Middle East area. Now we have like 2 areas because that was the whole of Africa, West, Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa. So when you're area, you cover all. And then also in the Middle East, all of the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia to Bahrain, to Qatar, to Oman, all of it.
And did you travel to those places? Did you travel to those places in your role?
Yes, I did. I went to almost every country except Saudi Arabia because, but it's difficult. It was difficult because of the distances, and of course, Toastmasters gets the cheapest fare. So most times you arrive at 4 a.m. and you had a workshop at 11 o'clock in the morning. I was told we didn't need a visa with the U.S. passport, and then a week before, I was told I needed a visa. It was too late to try to get a visa. So I went to the other countries. Most of them, you could have the visa at the airport. Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, all of them, you can have the visa on arrival.
Okay.
And there again, there was a lot of passion for Toastmasters. Really, I visited an all-women's club in Dubai. The Divas of Dubai, call them the Divas, and I was really impressed. They were all women. It's Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and they started at 9 a.m. prompt. They were on time. They were all wives and professionals, doctors, teachers, engineers, and it was a lovely club, all women club. And I brought that idea to Lomé also, tell them about this all women's club. And in Togo, we have 2 all women's club. In Cote d'Ivoire, many countries have had all women's club. And I got that idea from Dubai.
I see. And with the all women's club in Dubai, I know that there's quite a big expat population in Dubai. Was it mostly locals or mostly expats, or a combination of both?
It was mixed, a combination. You had a lot of, as you know, in Dubai, you have a lot of Indians. There were a lot of Indians, but you also had a lot of local members. And also, I went in Qatar. Also, it was mixed, locals and non-locals, non-nationals. I remember I had to make a speech at the university to do something. I was there. I Googled a lot of things to say hello, thank you, etc. And the first phrase I did was in Arabic. And I said, oh, she is so intelligent. She's so brilliant. She can speak Arabic. It was a lot of fun. And this is what Google does. Google helps you to speak in a language, but it makes a difference when you can greet in the local language and say thank you or goodbye in the local language. And
100%.
it's all on Google.
Yes, 100%. So it sounds like you were very impressed with the all women's club in Dubai.
I was.
How did that differ from like a mixed gender sort of club? And what were you so impressed with?
But that particular club, one, they started on time. the meeting was very professional,
Mm-hmm.
and they respected the timing and everything. There was only one man, and that was the division director who went with me. No, it was the governor, and he went with me, and he sat at the back, quietly. I just enjoyed the way they conducted their meetings, and afterwards they had tea and they chatted, etc. And they were all gone at 10:30, 1.5 hours in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody went. And then they left to go home. Almost every member was there at the meeting. I just loved it. That's why I encourage the women to have, here in Togo, we have 2 women's clubs.
How do they go?
It's working very well. They opened the first one. It went so well, they opened the second one. So they have Winigan 1 and Winigan 2. And Winigan in the local language here means grand ladies. That's the name of the club.
Oh, I
like
love that.
diva, like the diva of
I see.
and they also have the diva of Bahrain. Yes. I
Okay.
enjoyed my year as a regional advisor. I think it was really great. I learned a lot. I'm
Okay.
very multicultural in my outlook, and I got to learn a lot about cultures from around the world. Really, I enjoyed it
awesome.
so much.
I love that. So talking about women's clubs, you mentioned before you also work with Zonta, which is an international women's organization. Obviously, that's not directly related to Toastmasters, but we're not, we don't have this, we're not in isolation, aren't we? We have these different aspects of our lives and they impact on other aspects of our lives. Has Toastmasters impacted upon your ability to get the role in Zonta and to work in the role?
Oh, yes, a great deal. Zonta is older than Toastmasters. Zonta is 107 years old. I started in New York, in the United States, like most international clubs.
Yep.
I was a member of the board. I went through also up to the level of the board and even ran for vice. I ran for the position of vice president in Australia at the convention in Australia. Yes,
Right.
and so Zonta would also has a lot of training. Zonta International, Toastmasters, and other international organizations meet the president, the international presidents. They connect.
Is that right?
For instance, the timing machine that is used at Zonta conventions is from Toastmasters.
Didn't know that. That's interesting.
And once I was running for the nominating committee, I was chair of the nominating committee, and I did my 3-minute speech, of course, off the cup. I didn't have any notes. I finished. I did win, but then someone came to me and she said, "Are you a Toastmaster?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you spoke with no notes, and you were the only one who spoke like that." And she was a Toastmaster.
Yes, you were fair. Yes.
So that when you are a Toastmaster, then you avoid the arms and arms, etc.
Yeah.
People can look at you and say, "Why does she speak this way?"
Yes.
And this prompted me, in fact, to open a club because people saw what was happening and they wanted to change their lives. As I told them, my life had been changed. And I've done, at the district level in Zonta, I do a lot of training. At every district conference, I do training because they know I have a lot of background in training with Toastmasters. But one thing I liked is the moments of truth. I wrote to Toastmasters to ask whether I could adapt it and use it for Zonta. And I was given permission to do that. And I did moments of truth. This is what they love most of all. And every time they're calling me, because moments of truth really makes you stop and think what you're giving to your members.
Yes.
And makes you learn how to encourage your members, how to award them for what they do.
Okay.
So that is what I've taken to Zonta, and the knowledge of training.
Interesting. That was one of the most valuable things they saw in it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know where you find the time for all this, Dunstanette. It's amazing. But you also, I'm aware, like shortly after I met you at the World Championship of Public Speaking in 2024, then trying to campaign to become an international director. Can you tell me a bit about how that campaign went?
Well, the first thing was it was difficult to get people from all over the world to work with you because I wanted to have an international campaign team. Those of my district, I had many, but I wanted it to be international so I could learn from the different countries, and it wasn't easy to get them to work. But then there was someone I met also at the time I met you. Yeah, he was from India, and he couldn't be in my team, and he suggested some others. And there was a young girl from India. She had been in Toastmasters for 2 years. She was in my campaign team.
Really?
She
Wow.
was so effective. I even sent her, I give Toastmasters memorabilia from a convention to her.
Wow.
She was always good. I said, what time can we talk? I said, Mom, anytime. Even if I'm asleep, I wake up. She was
Fabulous.
so good.
Fabulous.
And she would say, what do you like me to do? Like, I want you to, the government documents. She would read. I'd do a resume. The board of directors meetings, she would read through and do resumes so I could see all of them. She was so good, so effective. And I said, I wish you well. I know you will rise up in Toastmasters. And I know she will, because she had only been Toastmaster for 2 years. Now it's 4 years, but she was very committed. The campaign it's quite difficult. You have to have the website before. You have to take it out, take it down in 24 hours. If you're not selected, there are a lot of...
I see. Can I ask?
And I thought it's a lot. It's a lot. I think it should be made in Zonta. There's no campaigning. There's less rules.
I see.
That no campaigning is forbidden.
Okay.
When you go to the convention, you have to convince people with your speech, and then you have meet the candidates when members could come and ask questions. That's all. So it's less difficult. Only for international director in Toastmasters, that's the only part, the only side of Toastmasters that I don't like personally. It's burdensome, it's heavy, I don't think, for me.
What can I ask the name of the Indian Toastmaster that was supporting you? For a shout
I can
out?
send it to you because I would not, maybe I don't know whether I should give her name because of privacy. I could send you her name.
Okay, maybe get her permission. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, send her name. I know she wouldn't mind, but let me ask her.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And so do you think you would campaign to be international director again?
No. I think I've moved on from that. I don't think I'm not. I think I could serve Toastmasters more by not being an international director because of all the rules and all the red tapes. Now I could go to any club, any region. I'm a member of an online club, and you could just speak and help to share the Toastmasters story, to promote Toastmasters and get more members. I think that's my vocation, and I like that. And I think I'm more useful not being on the board than being on the board.
Okay, fair enough. Dunstanette, do you have a favorite Toastmasters experience?
I think my favorite experience was when I was governor. And we were just beginning, and we had the district conference in Togo. We had worked hard to do the publicity, to get sponsors, smart nurses, and past international president John Lau was coming to our conference. We were so excited that he really helped us a lot at the conference. He was received by the president of the republic, and he tried to tell him about the benefits of being a Toastmaster and having Toastmasters in his government, etc. But one thing, members were always late at meetings. And John Lau would say, I have never, ever seen Toastmasters come to meetings so late. So that was an experience, because having an international president and delegates and members coming late to meetings, that was a terrible experience. But the good part of it was that he was going to visit Benin, and a Toastmaster was a minister. And when we got to the border, we had dispatch riders and siren. And the international president, wow, I hope my president does not hear about this, because we had the siren and dispatch riders from the border until we got to Cotonou. That was an experience. That was an experience because you had Toastmasters on the screen, and and people were looking and wondering what was happening. And you had this Toastmasters banner. It was really a great experience, and he was well received. And I'm sure for him, it was a very grand experience.
Well, that sounds amazing. So, where to from here, Dunstanette? Have you got any plans in your Toastmasters journey?
Just opening clubs.
Opening more clubs?
Yes, I got the presidential citation in 2016
Wow.
because of what it was, promoting Toastmasters, opening clubs, and I continue opening clubs because I really want everyone to benefit from this great experience that I have
Yeah.
benefited from by being a Toastmaster. And I think there is a lot of work to be done in Africa. There are many areas waiting to know about Toastmasters. So I really want to work on that. And even in New York, I would like to open another club. I've been talking to a pub just opposite my house in New York about Toastmasters. I said, you can drink a beer and have a Toastmasters club. I would like to see how that would work. But yes, and then I'm still working on another DTM because I think pathways is so good, especially the new enhanced pathways. I just keep learning. I think I don't want to go through a day without learning something new. And on pathways, you're always learning. So I'm still working on pathways. I hope to get a fifth DTM. I only have to finish one more path because I have a lot of sponsor and mentor credit already. But the only thing I don't have that I will have to have is a district role. So I have to be an area director again. But I cannot be an area director in this is 94 in Africa because the competition is great. And I would not like to take the position from a younger person, someone who can, who needs it. So I could be an area director again in my district in New York.
I see. So in Africa, do you see any particular countries as being areas of the greatest kind of growth potential?
Yes, but I have to answer that question for the magazine. I mean, the greatest potential right now. I mean, the fast growing countries now are Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Togo.
Okay.
And the potential for growth, honestly, that's a bone in my throat. That's Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is the only English-speaking country in the whole of Africa that does not have a Toastmasters club.
Is that right? Okay. And that's where your mother came from, I think you said before.
Yes, I've been working on this for the past 8 years. Anyway, I can see the end of the tunnel. I can see the light. And I hope by April we'll have one cupcake club, the first cupcake club. And we'll have 2 others that are in the pipeline. So Sierra Leone, we need to focus. Even the city wants to focus on Sierra Leone because it's English speaking and it's a country where people like to speak. People like to use Shakespeare's language, beautiful words, etc. So I think that's an area of growth, and that's where we're all working on. Both the district and I personally am working on Sierra Leone.
I would love to hear them quote some Shakespeare. That'd be very entertaining. I think that'd be awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dunstanette. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you too, Bernard. I know you've been writing to me for so long. I'm always busy. I'm always caught up in something. And I said I have to make time for Brandon today.
I very much appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's show. One of the key elements of Toastmasters is evaluations. This is how we grow and improve, both by encouraging comments for things we got right and points for improvement. We all learn and benefit from these evaluations, not just the person being evaluated. So any feedback in the comments is greatly appreciated. If you have a Toastmasters story you'd like to share or would like to be on the show, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at toastmastersworldtour@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.